Well, here I am in the Young Heretic studio. I've just recorded a bunch of episodes about Sienese and Tuscan early Renaissance art. And now, from the sublime to the ridiculous, my producers are forcing. This is going to be a fascinating episode of the cursed content game, because after like talking for 3 hours straight, I am now going to blind react to a video that my producers have sent to me. So here we go. Hopefully you people enjoy this, because to me, it is a great sorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Before I want to visit with you, Ms. Maskey, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important.
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get pregnant.
So you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Jeez. I wish that I could like laugh at that. I actually find it really chilling. I've heard about this video. This is the first time that I had watched it. And what's so grim to me about this is a Berkeley law professor, and I don't think we should like kid ourselves that she's not representative, because this is the conviction with which she delivers her line is like proof enough. The kind of smirk that she has as she says this, it indicates, and I've seen this kind of reported in lefty news outlets, that she's the one who won that argument. Like, she went away from that argument thinking that she really scored a blow for justice. And that is what happens when the distortion of reality has attained the level of a religion, right? When it's not simply a matter of getting your political point across, but a matter of so warping the fabric of true and false that to deny the kind of party line is essentially to commit an act of sacrilege. And, they're both doing a form of political theater here, of course. The difference is that Hawley is just suggesting that, maybe reality has something to say about how we should do our politics. And this woman, is truly convinced deep in her heart that she is morally right to deconstruct the entire basis of rational thought. That's really what it is, because they talk about, first of all, this thing where it's like, people are going to commit suicide because we discussed things that have been on the table for, thousands upon thousands of years, because things that were never questioned until about 5 minutes ago are suddenly supposed to be like the source of the cause of suicide to untold, numbers of children. Look, I have a lot of empathy for people that feel uncomfortable with the body they were born into. It's a vanishingly small percentage of the population. There do exist such people. And by the way, if you think that those people are the same as like the opposite sex, then you're actually the person that's denying that transgender exists. Like, there is such a thing as people who feel like they were born in the wrong body. For some of them, right, like we need to like think seriously about how to integrate them into society. A lot of them will grow. A lot of kids will grow out of it. But all of this is sort of secondary to the deep and heartfelt conviction that she has, that the game is one of unseating reality, that what's standing in the way, what's causing violence, what's causing death, what's causing problems, is the fundamental nature of like, this is this and not that. Because that's actually the rudiment of all language, all rational thought, the ability to group things into categories and speak plainly about what they are as a species, as a group, right? Even if there are some edge cases and exceptions, as there are to all groups, right? To undermine the very foundation of language like that is to make a religious claim and to stake a religious claim against the whole bedrock of civilization. And this is something that can only be answered with a countermanding religious claim. And the most basic kind, not like even just the Nicene Creed, not something that advanced, just true is true, false is false, black is black, white is white. These sorts of things are at the heart of all political honesty and all spiritual honesty. Because why do they always say, like, 2 + 2 = 4, and that's the freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 = 4? Why does that Star Trek episode fixate on there are 4 lights, right? Not 5. It's because once you can undermine people's ability to speak truly about the reality in front of them, you can take total totalitarian control. And this is a project that is doomed to failure. It is doomed to immiserate not only the people who are its victims, but such as, for example, the children who are castrated by this ideology, but also ultimately the people who try to wrest control of the world from God this way. There's really nothing but tragedy at the end of this road, and it is my sincere hope and prayer that we avert it, that enough people can sort of see the madness of it exposed. But we have to understand that for those that have, really attached themselves to this religious belief, there's really nothing to do but starkly refute them. There are no disclaimers, no sort of footnotes, no like, well, in certain cases, this and that. Like, this is wrong, and it's actually evil to deny the nature of true and false, and to deny the existence of male and female. The only kind of conviction that can answer that theology is an equally passionate conviction in the truth.